One of the things that I wanted to come on here and talk to you all about right now is like the state of the economy and how just a lot of things are real uncertain and they're on shaky ground for a lot of people. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. There's a lot of people out there that are just really, really scared, and rightfully so, because they've been laid off. Finances are really like uncertain. They don't know where their next meal is going to come from, how they're going to pay rent or, make certain payments on things. The price of everything is going up double, triple, quadruple, and everything is just like going up and up, up, up. And there's a lot of people that are just like, not only are they scared and they're afraid, but a lot of people, you may not know necessarily what they're going through just because they're so ashamed, right? And they're like, how did I get myself into this situation? Why can I not get a job? Um, why didn't I do better at saving? Or just, like, who's going to be able to understand what I'm going through? And so people may be suffering in silence. So I would say now more so than now more so than ever, excuse me, is when people need to band together and have community. And I know that we've talked on about finances and things like this, on my platform, in a way that there can be an unhealthy relationship, there can be competitions, but I'm talking about just being a normal human being, being a human being who cares. There's people out there that are really struggling and don't know, times are really scary. They've got kids, they've got their own mouths to feed, and just times are really scary and they're struggling. Not only that, but our emotions are at an all time high. So if people don't have the means, they don't have the financial livelihood, they can't make, um, they can't make payments, they can't afford to eat. Sometimes people look at that as like, well, shit, I've got nothing to lose, so that I'm on edge. And so anybody can get it at any time. I can end it right now. And so I would encourage you, if you can, maybe share with one or two other people in your community and talk about what you're going through. Try to come up with ideas, see what you can do to try to make things work. And I definitely recommend accessing food banks, and things like that, because a lot of them, depending on where you're at, a lot of them have excess food, at the, that they don't give out at food banks and things like that. If you know of jobs, that are hiring, that can hire people that really need it and won't waste their time going through 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds of interviews before they tell them, hey, you don't have it. If you know of that, even people with like advanced degrees, college degrees, they're being told that they're overqualified, they're being turned away, they're applying for job after job. So definitely use this post, if you like to. Let people know if there's jobs or opportunities out there or things within certain counties, that people can access, for that support. And again, I would encourage you, if you have community, if you have friends, if you have a relationship with a neighbor, let people know what you're going through, because you do need community now more so than ever. And I know that's easier said than done. I'm certainly not trying to force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. I'm just saying, like, it could be life or death when you're going through things or alone, right? Because, and I've seen it a number of times. I've been working in mental health long enough, long before we've got to this place where we're at economically. I've seen people who kind of done things at their wits' end. So if you have one, two, or even three people that you can reach out to for support and say, I don't want to be judged. I've been really ashamed, but I have to say that I'm not working right now. I'm not in a good mental space right now. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. And I don't want to, I don't want to come off as being a burden, so this isn't about you being a burden. It's about like saying, hey, this is what I'm going through right now. And I could really use some support. I may need a place to stay, or I may be homeless next month. I may be going through this. I may be going through that. I don't have health care, this kind of stuff. Because people need to know, family, or friends or people that may not know, or even people in the community that maybe don't know you, but maybe know of a resource can maybe help you. So please feel free to use this post. Comment on this post if you're in certain counties. If you know of resources that people can access in different states. If food, certain food banks have excess food, jobs that can hire you on the spot, that will allow you to work from anywhere, work from home, or, just people that will even take you in and, that kind of stuff. I think that can be of such great help to a lot of the community. And, know that I'm praying for everybody, and I'm not trying to push on any religious beliefs, but it is something that, like, I've seen people that normally would be okay and be like, very confident and self assured and feel like they can take on the world, be turned away from job after job after job, and they're starting to lose hope. So, if possible, I would like to instill hope. Definitely use this post to drop resources in the comments, healthcare, job, uh, you know, insurance, and things like that. That would be great. And of course, you can utilize resources like calling 211 in your community for housing and things like that. But if anybody's got, the plug in certain information, ways that you can expedite, or resources that you know of, now would be a good time to drop that info. You can also call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Helpline, if you are struggling with thoughts of harming yourself, harming somebody else. That could be, you can do that, go to your closest emergency room. You can also contact your closest psych emergency as well, or go to the psych emergency room as well. So thanks so much. I hope that helps. And, I wish there were, I definitely want to do more in the community in terms of, helping people access resources and things like that. It's not a good feeling people are in, because our lives really can change at a moment. Even people who have houses and have, feel like they're pretty stable, things could definitely change in an instant. So thanks so much. Like, comment, follow, and share. Thanks so much.